I trusted my husband, and he sold my dignity for money. I never thought these words would come out of my mouth. I believed marriage meant safety, loyalty, and protection. But the man I loved, the man I defended in front of the world, turned me into a deal. This is not a story about cheating. This is a story about betrayal that goes deeper than love. This is how my life was traded for cash. We weren't rich, but we weren't starving either. Bills were always late. Rent was always stressful, and my husband was always working on something big. I stood by him. I believed in his dreams more than my own. I trusted him when he said, "Just a little more time. Everything will change." I didn't know I was the thing he planned to sacrifice. My husband had a boss everyone feared, powerful, rich, untouchable. Whenever my husband spoke about him, his voice changed. Nervous, desperate, obedient. One night after dinner, my husband said his boss wanted to help us financially. I felt relieved. I thought it was a loan. I didn't know it was an offer. And I was the price. That night, my husband looked at me differently. Not with love, but calculation. He said, "Would you do anything for us?" I laughed nervously. I said, "Of course." That's when he went silent, too silent. And then he said something that made my stomach drop. He told me his boss was willing to give him money, not a loan, not charity, but something in return. I didn't understand at first. Then the words hit me, slowly, painfully. I asked, "Are you joking?" He didn't answer. That silence destroyed something inside me forever. He said it was just once. He said, "It doesn't mean anything." He said, "It's only business. Only business." As if my body, my dignity, my soul were just items on a receipt. He told me we needed the money, that I was being selfish, that I was ruining our future. That's when I realized he had already made the deal. I cried. I begged. I reminded him I was his wife. He didn't see me as his wife anymore. He saw me as a solution. Every tear annoyed him. Every refusal made him angry. That night, I slept next to a stranger who wore my husband's face. For days, I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I kept asking myself, how did my life come to this? I felt trapped. No money, no support, no escape. And the worst part, the man who was supposed to protect me was the one pushing me into hell. One evening, my husband came home smiling. He placed cash on the table, a few $1,000s. That's it. That was my worth to him. I stared at the money, and for the first time in my life, I felt completely erased. He said, "This can fix everything." But I knew something was already broken forever. That night, I made a decision, not the one he expected, because this story doesn't end with silence. It ends with consequences. The night finally came. My husband didn't ask how I felt. He didn't hesitate. He just told me what to wear. Not lovingly, not kindly, like instructions. As we drove, he talked about bills, rent, and opportunities. I stared out the window, feeling like I was disappearing mile by mile. I wasn't his wife anymore. I was his payment. When we arrived, he didn't walk me to the door. He didn't protect me. He waited in the car. That's when reality hit me the hardest. If I walked away, I'd lose everything. If I walked in, I'd lose myself and my husband. He was already counting the money. I came back broken, not physically, emotionally. My husband asked only one question. Did everything go okay? Not, "Are you okay?" Not, "I'm sorry," just business. That was the moment I stopped being afraid of losing him, because I had already lost him. Something changed in me after that night. I stopped crying in front of him. I stopped explaining myself. I started watching, listening, learning. He thought I was weak. He thought I was defeated. But silence was my strength, and patience became my weapon. One day, I overheard him laughing on the phone, talking about the money, talking about how easy it was. That word broke something in me. Easy. That's when I knew this wasn't desperation. This was who he truly was. I began documenting everything. Messages, conversations, proof. Not for revenge, for freedom. Every secret he thought was buried became my escape route. I wasn't planning to destroy him. I was planning to save myself. When I finally confronted him, he laughed. He said, "You survived, didn't you?" That sentence told me everything. I looked him in the eyes and said, "You didn't sell my body. You sold your soul." And for the first time, he had no answer. I left with nothing but my dignity. No money, no apologies. But for the first time in years, I could breathe. Some losses aren't losses at all. Some endings are rescues. And leaving him was the bravest thing I ever did. If someone ever tells you your pain is necessary, walk away. If love costs your dignity, it's not love. You are not a solution. You are not a sacrifice. You are a human being, and you deserve more. My husband sold my dignity for money, but he lost something priceless in return. Me, and that's a debt he'll never recover from.